Gaming news this week was full of surprises and a little bit of salt and rage. If you were following the Helldivers 2 situation, I covered that. Make sure and check out that video. I advocated for a complete shift in philosophy at the company, and a lot of people have checked out that video, so be sure to check it out. But then as the week went on, Hiroki Totoki from Sony and PlayStation indicating that there does seem to be a very intentional and planned takeover of Bungie, at least their back offices as well as operations, and a commitment to Destiny and Marathon going forward. This did prompt a response from the Destiny community team to say that they are committed to Destiny going forward. So we are going to discuss what does that mean. We discussed last week future of Destiny. I talked about it with 30 and Still Gaming, and we largely landed on the fact that, listen, the Destiny property is worth too much money for PlayStation to just let them either, put Destiny 2 into coast mode, or to abandon the franchise, or to not do anything else with Destiny. I even think there may be a point where PlayStation does push for a Destiny 3, even though what we heard was a spin-off project that really wasn't Destiny 3 did get canceled. There was also rumors and leaks, insider information from Jez Corden of Windows Central saying things about the next Xbox hardware. Apparently will be some kind of a handheld that will be not its own thing, but it'll be like sort of an add-on to the successor of the Series X, meaning there is a successor to the Series X coming. We don't know if that's going to be a two-tiered system or if it's going to be a single console, and encouraging though to hear that a handheld is on the way. That is something that I would like to see, so we could obviously discuss that as well. Information coming out about the PS5 Pro claims that it's going to be like 100% stronger than the current PS5. Still waiting for confirmation or an announcement from PlayStation if they're going to be doing a showcase. Are they going to be doing a showcase at Tokyo Game Show? Are they going to be announcing the PS5 Pro at Tokyo Game Show? Plenty to discuss there. And the Astrobot controller pre-orders went live, and you guessed it, really difficult, very frustrating. I was doing a morning coffee segment with my members and got very frustrated. I spent about 30 minutes trying to order one directly from PlayStation. Their website is always terrible. It's notoriously known for having problems. I couldn't add my credit card. I ended up having to go on my phone and order it through GameStop. So already seeing calls on Twitter for PlayStation to do better to protect their consumers from scalpers, as the controllers are already showing up on websites to be resold for double or more the price there. And also the Helldivers 2 nerfs, we covered that this week. I kind of opened the video with that. That continues to get some feedback and discussion about it. We also covered Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming to last gen. I called it a cash grab. Curious what you have seen from others out there about it, just with the state of the game not being in a great place on the PC especially, and yet they're still planning to bring it to old gen. So I've told people that I'm not super confident in that running all that well, so to hold off and wait for performance issues. And I did cover this week how to save Destiny. So interesting to see that, Sony and PlayStation seem to agree with a lot of what I said in that video. So be sure to check that one out as well if you want to see some of my ideas about how to save Destiny, how to keep it going, and what may be in store now that PlayStation has indicated that they do want to see sort of a reinvigoration of the company, as well as sort of trimming down their spending to keep things on track. There are more previews coming in from Space Marine 2 as well, seeing very good reception and people saying, hey, it runs well, it looks great, but those were PC previews, so we continue to wait and see and hope that it is well optimized for console. That's been a concern of mine since the very beginning, because it does look like a pretty graphically intense game, and one that if it doesn't run well and has performance issues would be pretty frustrating. We did see and heard from Warner Brothers. They saw a 41% drop in gaming revenue. Many are now blaming, obviously, Kill the Justice League for that. Even if Kill the Justice League would have been a roaring success, they were going to see a reduction in gaming revenue this year. Last year, Hogwarts Legacy came out. It was the #1 selling game of the year. It actually surpassed The Legend of Zelda, which is almost unheard of. That's an incredible record. It was available on every single platform, new gen, old gen, as well as the Nintendo Switch. So no matter what, Warner Brothers was going to see a reduction in gaming revenue, probably not 41%. They probably did hope that the DC property would have paid out quite a bit more, but that game is undeniably a flop at this point. I have admitted that I was wrong about that game. I actually thought it had a chance. I thought that it was going to be quite good. I still feel the critics were a little too harsh with the story and the gameplay elements, but the live service elements are arguably terrible. It is a very, very bad live service game. And then we are hearing that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have a lot of AAA third-party releases this time around. A lot of studios, developers, and publishers, man, they felt like they missed the boat on the first Switch and really underestimated just how popular it was going to be, and they want to be involved this time around. So that's a very quick 5-minute flyover of gaming news this week, and I might have missed something. So let me know what you think. What do you guys want to talk about? I have a feeling you guys are going to want to talk about this Sony takeover with Bungie and Destiny. That will likely be a video that I upload on Monday because I'm anticipating more and more information coming out as the weekend goes and as things develop. So take a quick second and smash the like button. I would love to see this Friday morning segment get a lot of support. It's great for you guys. It's great for me. It takes a little bit of that pressure off. I don't have to put together an upload, but then it also then helps us cover a whole lot more topics in like one quick run. I obviously cannot cover every single thing that happens in gaming news, and Friday with gaming news this week can serve as a really great catch-all. If you want to know my thoughts on something, you can come in here and ask it. We will be starting members-only Q&A shortly. We could honestly have it run during probably the entire time on gaming news this week. That could be a great feature for you guys. The question queue is clear, so you can ask about any of the gaming news and any of the stuff that happened this week, and you can use that question command. You guys are very close to the weekly goal of 500. The stretch goal is 600, and if you hit that, Madam's going to play Destiny 2 tonight as a brand new player just to see what it's like, and I'll be there kind of commentating as well. So I appreciate you guys so much. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick says that although Call of Duty might boost Game Pass for a period of time, Take-Two still won't put its new games onto the service because it makes rational decisions. Yeah, I mean, you have to understand something with Strauss Zelnick saying that. And a 5-bomb comes in from Rockin' Robin. Han shot first, and so did you. Thank you so much, Rockin' Robin, taking us to 416, kicking off the day nice and strong. Thank you so much for doing that, Rockin' Robin. If you guys just got a gifted member, you can take part in Q&A. For gaming news this week, it's a great opportunity for you to utilize your membership in the question command. I got a question. Do you know you can stealth in TLOO too? Yes, I know you can stealth in TLOO too. Anyway, thank you guys for smashing the like button, and thank you so much for being here. Did anyone see Xbox fanboys boycotting Take-Two? I mean, they can try to. Boycotting Take-Two or Grand Theft Auto would be a hilarious attempt at trying to impact the sales of that game. So here's the thing. If a 5-bomb comes in from Sheriff Bruce Lee, thank you so much. That is 421. I appreciate that so much. And a member renewal from D Dizzle, thank you so much. And that takes us to 422. Yo, Deeds, if I'm not showing up in your feed, I would unsubscribe and resubscribe and reset your notifications. It can also be related to what you're watching. I started watching a bunch of Critical Drinker and Asmongold and somebody else, I forget who else, and suddenly Doc Dark disappeared from my homepage. So sometimes it's just because of what you've been watching, it might shove me off your homepage. But a great way to kind of jumpstart that is to unsubscribe from the channel and then resubscribe and reset all your notifications. That can sometimes fix that. You used to watch daily? Yeah, I've not had really anybody reporting that. I did take a week off in the middle of July, and sometimes that can make me drop off your homepage. But you can sometimes try a couple of those tricks. Also, just, watch a couple of videos of mine, and sometimes that resets it as well. It's like, oh, hey, you're watching a bunch of Reforge's stuff, right? Watch my uploads, watch my live. So, have you followed any of the Ashes of Creation development? I followed it a little bit early on, just sort of like we would kind of react to some of their videos. I think we did a couple of streams where we would like look at their Unreal updates and stuff because they had switched to the Unreal Engine. I've continued to say that if PvP is on all of the time, that's just going to be a problem. I think that's going to push people away. I think there's plenty of people now that will play an MMO, but I think a lot of people don't like the idea of PvP being on all of the time, you know? And if you look at New World, a lot of what people ended up getting frustrated by, and a lot of what required a lot of their attention and a lot of their babysitting in those early days, it was PvP. So, you know, good luck to them. I think Ashes of Creation looks awesome, but I definitely think that when PvP's on all of the time, you're running a really great risk. I think a lot of people might say, hey, I'm just not interested in that. That's going to be kind of frustrating. You know, I'm one of those people, so I know I'm kind of arguing from my own bias, but I just have to think that more and more now people are just gonna struggle to vibe with that. And guys, if chat or YouTube is acting up a little bit, I am sorry. My chat is literally completely frozen. I'm not getting any new messages. I'm not sure what's happening. Now they're all pouring in really quickly. Mecha Break looks promising. No PvP for this guy. I might get it when it's $20 from Ubisoft. I am. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. You guys, the question queue is completely open and clear right now for members. You guys can submit questions about all the gaming news this week. Yeah, like Ashen, you're one of the people you really, really love Sea of Thieves. Oh, apparently they have DualSense Astrobots on Amazon. They have them on Amazon, so you are able to get them right now. I might actually go ahead and snag one from Amazon, just in case my GameStop one gets canceled. They have a habit of doing that. So I'll probably, I don't want in-key, what? Amazon in-cart is not available. Oh yeah, I don't want that. I don't like when they do that. Shipping and payment. Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab another one just in case. Because GameStop and some of those other places have a bad habit of canceling your order. So, and if I have two, no big deal. My kiddos can each have their own whenever they go to play Astrobot. They'll be fighting over the Astrobot controller. So now if I get two, great. You know, they'll each have their own. When I'm not going to be able to use my PlayStation when Astrobot comes out. They have both claimed. They're like, that's what I'm playing when that game comes out. So I wish there were more upcoming single-player games. I get it. Multiplayer earns a lot of the money, but I miss a lot of the AAA single-player games that are only story-driven. Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that. I definitely think there's been, you know, I think there's always going to be that sort of tug of war, you know, maybe in the market. Where else is the Concord one available? I'm not actually sure. The Concord one does look pretty sweet. I mean, I don't have much of an interest in Concord as a game, but the Concord controller does look pretty sweet. It looks kind of like Tron. So, speaking of DualSense controllers, not interested in Concord at all, but the controller looks sick. Yeah, I agree with you, Spice King. Like, it looks kind of sick. It looks kind of like Tron. So, I mean, if you guys are curious about the Destiny or potential, you know, Bungie takeover at PlayStation, that's one of the things that we've been talking about. You know, there's Space Marine 2 previews coming out. I just ordered the Xbox controller from Amazon and went back after I was done, and it's gone. Oh yeah, very, very quick. Very, very quick. That I couldn't even get PlayStation's website to work properly. I was so irritated. I was like complaining. I was like, come on, every time. I couldn't put my credit card number in. It's so frustrating. Sea of Thieves just released another banger update, and I'm going to have to wait to play it since it brings back so many PvPers. Oh, so you wait to play because of all the PvPers, Ashen? Yeah, I mean, you know, somebody asked me about Ashes of Creation. That's what kind of put me down that road. Like, I think if you love PvP, I love for games to be there for you to do that. Like, I want you to be able to do that, but like, I just can't do it. That's just not my vibe anymore. I played, you know, PvP games for like 15 years, and I was just like, yeah, I've had enough. You know, and a single gifted comes in from Melrose Mike. Guys, this is a great time to use the question command. Nobody has used it yet this morning. Your question pops up right here. It's a great members-only feature. You can ask about any of the gaming news that happened this week. And if you want to do it, do exactly what Citizen JV just did. That's how you do it. You type !question and then put a space and then just type your question. So you can see exactly how it's done. Citizen JV just did it. It'll tell you your position in the queue as well. So the first question here, just again, gaming news this week, variety of game things to ask about. And he says, have you heard any rumors or new news about more Xbox games coming to PlayStation? I have not heard anything, but there have been Xbox guys that have been weighing in. They have heard that, yes, more games are coming. One of those games is Starfield. This is, again, not from me. I already reported that. I already got, attacked, which the one gaming news outlet that attacked me and said that they had spoken to their sources and they were going to blow the lid off the whole thing. Yeah, they don't exist anymore. So, good riddance. But they disappeared, and a lot of people that attacked me are seemingly now, some of them saying, oh, hey, yeah, I actually heard that this is coming, that Starfield is coming to PlayStation along with other titles. Now, I've not heard anything new because I don't think there's any new news to report. I think there's just going to be another swath of games. And then I personally think like the future of Xbox games is it's going to be one or the other. It will either be like Doom Eternal. I'm sorry, not Doom Eternal. Doom the Dark Ages, okay? So Doom the Dark Ages, Stonespire, you don't put an exclamation point space. It's just exclamation point question. Anytime you guys try to use any of the commands here, coffee, glasses, whatever, it's just exclamation point and then the word. There's no space. The space comes after the command. Anyway, I think the future of Xbox games are going to fall into those two categories. It's either going to be like Doom the Dark Ages, where it just lands everywhere, okay? Or it's going to be like Indiana Jones was another game that people said they had heard is coming to the other platforms, to PlayStation or whatnot. I think that's going to be the other category. The other category that you see. The other category that you're going to see is the timed exclusive. Essentially, the Xbox gets it first, play it day one on Game Pass, and then later it will come to other platforms. Man, Nightbot's on it today, able to grab 2 questions back to back. Nice. There it is. Guys, that's a great reason to become a member. That's a great reason to gift members. We're well on our way for hitting the weekly goal for the week, so thank you so much, and thank you for submitting your questions as well. I really enjoy doing this with you guys, especially on Friday. It gives us an opportunity to talk about a lot of different gaming topics. So to answer the very first question, Citizen JV, I've not heard any new rumors about games coming to PlayStation from Xbox, but Xbox guys and Xbox podcasters have heard, and I think that's what you're going to see. I think, Doom's a multiplat. I think Blade's a multiplat, right? And then you're going to see games that are timed exclusive. So Jordan submits a question and says, do you think that the updated Doom 1 and Doom 2 games were part of the new Microsoft strategy, or was it pre-planned long before? If the former, then we are head force into the new strategy. I actually don't know. I don't know if this was something that Microsoft put into place, or was this something that they were already planning on doing. Like, if you forced me to place a bet here, like put chips on the table and place a bet, I think what I would end up saying is, I would imagine they were already planning on doing this, right? They were already planning on putting this all into place with Doom 1 and Doom 2. If it wasn't something that was already in place, I don't know if it's a strategy that would get a bunch of people excited. Like, I don't know. I mean, and this is my bias talking here. I don't like playing old games for very long. I play them for a little bit. It's like a trip down memory lane, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I got what I wanted out of that. I don't know if I've ever gone the distance with like a really old game, even when they're remastered or redone. We played that Star Wars game that one afternoon. I didn't have any desire to go back in and finish that Star Wars game. And when I saw the footage of Doom 1 and Doom 2, and then I saw the footage of like the Doom multiplayer, I was like, yeah, I'm good. It looks cool. The music sounds great. I'm sure that's great for fans of the franchise or fans that have really been wanting it. But for me, I'm just kind of like, yeah, like Deed says, I love old games. Like, I think that's great. I mean, there are people that love to do that. They love to go back and play old games. But, like, I remember playing through Rare Replay with my brother, and, like, we spent maybe 30 minutes in Perfect Dark, and I was like, yeah, that, I've, you know, been there, done that. I'm good, you know. I don't know. People are always like, oh, what's a game you hope they remaster or remake? And it's like, it's typically a game I've not played. Like, now my answer is Bloodborne. It's like, well, I've not played Bloodborne, so I'd love them to remake or remaster that. You know? So, no. Your question got through, Ashen. Your question got through. It just didn't give you the... I see it on the queue. It just didn't give you the little notification. I'm not sure why. Zinthos with the next question. With Sony moving some incubated Bungie games to SIE Studios, how likely do you think it'll be that they'll make those PS exclusives? Very likely. Yeah. Very likely. So this is something that's kind of come out of the Hiroki Totoki saying that they're kind of going to be... It essentially sounds like a Bungie takeover, right? They're going to be taking over Bungie. He really made it seem like, and again, we could maybe get lost in translation here a little bit, so we don't know, but he really made it seem like, yeah, their future spin-off projects, we're going to hand those to other studios. I would imagine if they do that, then those games will then be, exclusive. Yes. If you can't order the controller, GameStop.com worked for me on my phone. It'll make it seem like you have to sign up for GameStop Pro or whatever. I don't think you have to do that unless I already have the GameStop Pro thing. And Amazon had it. I don't know if those are available anymore. Trying to go through PlayStation's website is a freaking joke. Their website's terrible. So I had to go elsewhere to get it. So yeah, I think those spun up games are likely to end up being exclusives. Yes. I also think that, you know, I think Pete Parsons, like Dan's saying, you know, who he's dead man walking. Yeah, I think Pete Parsons is not long for this world. Now, he's probably going to try to stay on. Oh, Amazon's already sold out? Wow. He's probably going to try to stay on because I believe the way that it works is he gets all of his payout and all of those incentives and everything. I believe that he gets that. It all finishes 2026, I believe. Someone said try Target. Okay, yeah, Amazon's out. It requires GameStop Pro. I must already have GameStop Pro then. It acted like it wanted me to sign up for it. I said no thank you, and then it let me order it anyway. So maybe the website glitched, and maybe I do have it. I don't know. So... yeah, the website's crashing due to some internal issues. The traffic is crazy. Yeah, it's already getting scalped. The controller, the DualSense Astrobot controller, it's already showing up on resale websites for like twice its price. I can't stand those scalpers, dude. They're scum. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. Yeah, Wario64 is tweeting. He's saying you can try at Target right now. If you follow Warrior64 on Twitter, if not, go check out his account. He just tweeted this. Well, no, he tweeted it 20 minutes ago, so maybe they still have him at Target. So, yeah, this was the most recent question. You guys can submit questions as a member. You can become a member right now. You can gift members. But I tell you what you can do for free. You can smash that like button. Let's set our sights on 200 likes. We've only been streaming for about 20 minutes, so thank you, everybody, for being here. I would love it if we could do this every Friday. You guys have shown support the last 2 weeks. I think the headline, including Destiny and Bungie, is probably helping. But, man, I'd love to see you every Friday for gaming news this week. And you guys as members can submit those questions and really dictate what we talk about. The next question's coming in from Xanatos. He says, do you applaud GTA 6 devs asking fans to manage their expectations that GTA 6 won't be a graphical leap? Well, we got to be careful here because... it was a former developer that said this. Now, there were people in our Discord that were being very dismissive of him, which I thought was unfair. Just because he's not been in the industry for a long time doesn't mean he's not paying attention to the industry. A developer that is paying attention to the hardware of the consoles, and they're paying attention to the trailers of Grand Theft Auto 6, he might be very much in tune with the fact that, like, yeah, it's not going to be this insane leap. People need to really temper their expectations, okay? Because to be quite honest with you, what we saw in the GTA 6 trailer, I'm here to tell you, I don't think the game's going to run at that level of fidelity and lighting. I just don't think that it's going to. I think we saw a lot of very, very, fully rendered, boosted stuff. I don't know. I'll be very, very interested to see how that game actually runs. Hadn't worked at Rockstar for like 15 years. Yeah, he hadn't been there for like 15 years, but that doesn't mean he's not still paying attention to the industry, paying attention to the technology. You know, it doesn't mean he's not talking to people at the company. It doesn't mean he doesn't have contacts or people that are developing games right now that he's friends with to be like, yeah, there ain't no way that game's going to look that way, right? I continue to say, with respect to GTA 6, I think people are getting way ahead of themselves. We got people saying like, oh, it's going to be 30 FPS on all consoles. It'll even be 30 FPS on the PS5 Pro. So might as well grab Durando off the streets. Yeah, I think that position's ridiculous. I don't have any respect for that position, Eugene. To dismiss somebody and to say their opinion is equal to a random person off the stream is the epitome of it's so hyperbolic. It's so exaggerated. Like, somebody that was in game development for that amount of time continuing to talk about game development is not a random person off the street. Again, if he's reading articles, if he's watching videos, if he's still plugged into the industry, if he's having conversations with people in the industry, a random person off the street wouldn't even know what you're talking about. Like, to be that dismissive of him, I think is ridiculous. No better than the dev who said Ratchet & Clank could have been done on a PS3. Complete and utter false equivalency as well. I think what that person said was demonstrably proven to be misrepresentative of what was even possible back then. All this guy said was, people better temper their expectations. Because if you listen, I'm saying the same thing. I've been covering video games and playing video games for a really long time. If you're looking at that GTA 6 trailer and you think you're going to get a game that looks and runs like that with the level of lighting and the shadows, I think you're the problem. I for one think that trailer, there is no way. I don't have any confidence in what that trailer looks like at all. Ain't no way. It looked like a bunch of fully rendered cinematic stuff. It did. I'm telling you, if people think if GTA 6 is going to be that large and have that massive amount of scope and that much stuff going on and have that level of lighting, detail, and shadows, oh my gosh. I think what he said is totally fair. Totally fair. People should be tempering their expectations, dude. Ain't no way GTA 6 is going to look like that. I think that guy's input was completely fair. He didn't say it was going to be bad. He wasn't dismissive. Like with the guy with the Ratchet & Clank thing, like he was being dismissive. He was acting like, oh yeah, we could have done that back on the PS3. And it's like, no, you couldn't have. The SSD the technology didn't even exist back then. That guy was speaking completely out of turn and it was easy to prove it. All this guy is saying is that people should temper their expectations. It's not going to be this insane leap. I said the same thing about this gen when I said that I felt like Horizon Forbidden West, and I get misquoted by my own members on this. You guys misquote me all the time on this. I have said that Horizon Forbidden West is close to the graphical fidelity we're getting this gen. I don't think we're going to get late gen and be like, oh my gosh, this game blows Horizon Forbidden West out of the water. Like, come on. I think the improvements I look for in the trailer are based more on things like different body types, animations, etc. Also, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's close to the trailer considering Spidey 2. No. Spidey 2 is a single-player game. What they're doing in Grand Theft Auto with the NPCs and the cars, and you know there's going to be the ability to play with other people. Are you kidding me? Impossible for it not to be a big leap over GTA 5. I don't think it won't be a big leap. I think people need to understand that it might not be as big as they think. I really don't think it's going to look... I don't think it's going to be one-to-one to that trailer. I really don't. If those trailers of GTA 6 are an accurate representation of the graphical fidelity of that game, I'm going to be extremely interested in performance and how well it runs. I mean that. They're not launching on PC. They're launching on console first. So, yeah, we could be dealing with another Cyberpunk situation, man. I'm telling you right now, that makes me, it always makes me nervous when trailers look that good and people are like being dismissive of a guy that's like, I think people should temper their expectations. And it's like, well, you've not been in the industry for 15 years. We might as well ask a random person on the street. And it's like, he probably is still in tune with what's going on. He's not at the company. That's fair to say. He's not working there. We saw how the Red Dead 2 trailers were low quality than the final game. Yeah, but we know what games look and run like right now on the PS5. What kind of ninjutsu do you think Rockstar is going to pull off with GTA 6? I really do. I think everybody just needs to take a big fat dose of realism. You guys aren't being realistic if you think, like, seriously, like, what is happening? Look at that trailer, dude. Then all the people that said 30 FPS are right. If they shoot for that level of graphical fidelity and they shoot for that level of scope and movement and NPCs and cars and all of that, brother, that game is going to run at 30 FPS. It will. I don't see any games coming out right now on this gen of hardware that's going to be able to do what that game is trying to do and actually run well. It just seems too ambitious to me. It really does. It's not newsworthy. Gamers should temper expectations. I mean, what's newsworthy in gaming? I mean, that's I guess, a debate we could have. When the news cycle gets dry, people are doing, the top 5 best characters to play in this game. And this guy said this on this podcast. I mean, I don't think anybody acted like it was like a barn burner. Like, oh my gosh, this is a smoking gun. Yo, Duke moves the line of members with a Member Plus. Thank you so much for doing Member Plus. Guys, we are so close to the next milestone of Member Plus. I think we need only maybe down to 10. Maybe down to 10. And another Member Plus comes in from Reaper, and that's a milestone. I now owe you guys 5 members. I owe you 5 members. You saying GTA 6 is going to have a Cyberpunk moment? No, but I'm sure that will likely be what people say, put words in my mouth and clip me out of context, as you have just put words in my mouth and completely misrepresented what I said. I did not say we were going to have a Cyberpunk moment. I said we could be looking at that. I'm telling you right now, when companies do that, when they show a trailer that looks that crazy, yeah, you could be heading to a Cyberpunk moment of like, no, that's too ambitious. In one direction or the other, it'll either run really poorly or it will look nothing like what they showed us. I'm not saying it's going to be a Cyberpunk moment. I'm saying it could. That's a really ambitious title. And what they showed us, I don't know, man. And listen, if it looks like that and runs at 30 FPS, I don't give a frick. I don't care. What do I care if you cranked the lighting and the shading and the shadows and the textures and the resolution, and then I gotta play an old gen blurry performance? Like, take a frickin' walk. You think I want to play a 30 FPS game in 2025? No thanks. It's really pretty if you stand still. I don't care, bro. You can take your 30 FPS game and keep it. I don't need it. As much as I love Zelda, I couldn't even play Zelda at 30. I couldn't do it. The second one, Tears of the Kingdom. Red Dead 2 level graphics at 60 would be a leap. But they didn't show us Red Dead level 2 graphics. That GTA 6 trailer is far and away, has way better lighting and shadows than Red Dead. I keep talking about the lighting and the shadows. Like, I'm here. Listen, I'm here to tell you that is an absolute performance killer. That's an absolute performance killer. I don't think the lighting and the shading and the shadows that we saw in GTA 6 are anywhere near Red Dead. I think they're better than Red Dead. Red Dead's beautiful, but the lighting and the shadows in Red Dead is nowhere near what they showed in that GTA 6 trailer. Street Shadow with a $20 super chat. Food for thought. PS5 Pro or a PS Showcase could be closer to September or December. This is because the 30th anniversary is this year, and if they align with the PS1 release date, it could be 12/3. No, they have no interest in aligning with an anniversary date, homie. They're going to release the thing in November. They're going to announce it in September, likely do a showcase or something at Tokyo Game Show. I think they're going to sell it in November. I don't think you would have your PS4 Pro align with the anniversary of the PlayStation. You might be right, Street Shadow. I don't think that's how they operate or roll. They don't seem like the type that would be like, let's wait until December. I think they want to be selling this thing in November. November's a big month for spending. There's a lot that happens in November. So, we'll see. We'll see. I just think everybody's getting ahead of themselves with GTA 6. There are people on both sides of the spectrum. There are people that think, well, that guy's full of crap. I'm not tempering my expectations. I bet you it's going to look like that trailer. Okay, if it does, then the people over here are probably right. It's probably going to be a 30 FPS game everywhere. I think that level of lighting and shading is just too demanding. It's way too demanding. Yeah, I would have loved for Red Dead 2 to get a 60 FPS patch. That would have been cool. I think they were planning one and then it got canceled for whatever reason. All right, we got to move on to them. We got way more questions. Thank you guys so much. And I owe you 5 members. You're at 425 on the day. There's the 5 that I owe you. Question from Old Dad Gamer. Looking forward to Wukong, but I keep seeing videos on YouTube that it's a boss rush game. Is this true? Gosh, I hope not. Want a little bit of exploration. So one of the reviews leaked, and it's like open zone. So I don't think it's going to be like a very strict boss rush. I know there are sections that we have seen with group fighting. There's also supposed to be like 81 bosses in the game. But I think a lot of those bosses are going to be like open area world boss mini bosses. So I don't know if it's just going to be like an onslaught of boss rush. I do think it's going to probably lean more in the direction of boss rush than a game like Dark Souls 3 or Elden Ring. And MASH! With the 20 bomb, this guy doesn't quit. We'll see if he gets a tag team partner today with those absolutely massive member bombs, putting us on pace to hit 500 on the week. This man is insane. Him and Behemoth and Silent Spartan have gone huge this week. They've released plenty of consoles that were announced in September. I'm just basing my prediction off of the last PlayStation Pro. The PlayStation 4 Pro was announced in like September and then it released in November. I think they're going to do the exact same thing. I don't think they care about releasing the PS5 Pro on like the anniversary of the PlayStation 1. And Lone Wolf secures the next milestone of 450. And I owe you 5 more members. Thank you so much. Announced September, launch November. Yeah, Miyako Best Girl. I think that's one of the easy. I think that's a really easy prediction to make. I don't think I'm some soothsayer or some, crystal ball reader. And a 5-bomb Agent of Chaos from MASH, and he takes us to 455. He's baiting a 20 bomb. We'll see if he can get somebody to join him on this onslaught. A 20 bomb would be the next milestone of 475. Yeah, so Old Dad Gamer, I would say, if you want a little bit of exploration, to go back to this question about Black Myth Wukong, I would say, from what we have heard and seen, there will be a small amount of exploration. I don't think there's going to be a ton, though. I think that leaked review even said that there's not a lot of that. I could be wrong. I believe Barrier posted the screenshot of the leaked review. I feel like that was one of the cons. There was pros and cons. They thought it was a Game of the Year contender, though. That review that leaked. So, Dalton Burrows with a question. Guys, this is a segment every Friday, gaming news this week. And if you're a member, you can submit a question with the question command and ask me about any of the gaming news that happened in the week. And I will try to give you my best answer. So, great reason to gift a member or become a member. And I just checked. We have 489 people at Member Plus and above. We only need 11 more people to upgrade, and we'll do a Saturday stream with you guys, because I know Friday nights are tough for some of you to be there. Dalton says, it's not exactly new this week, but have you heard of the Halo Combat Evolved Remake, I think it's in Unreal 5. I am hopeful that it's real because original Combat Evolved Anniversary is not faithful to the original. 1 second. And a 20 bomb from Silent Spartan. He takes the bait and says, I will take us to 475. MASH has a tag team partner. We'll see if anybody else, if any of the other big boys want to show up and disrupt this runner that these boys are putting chat on. All right, so the Halo Combat Evolved like remake, you know, rumors like Unreal and all of that. Listen, at this point in time, I don't know how much stock I put in it. I don't know where it came from. I don't know who said it. I don't know who leaked it. So I always struggle with these types of leaks because I feel like for the longest time, like every other week, somebody was like, I heard that we're getting a Bloodborne. And it's like, okay. So at this point in time, I don't have a strong opinion in one way or the other. So Ashen says, any worry that Space Marine 2 footage could just be polished vertical slice? What are your vibes? And a 5 bomb from MASH, setting up another 20 bomb dunker to 500. We'll see if anybody takes the bait. Zubair says it's not take the bait. I mean, but that's an Agent of Chaos as well. Thank you so much, MASH. I mean, that's also a layup. That's all three. Thank you so much. So my issue with Space Marine 2 has been that it just looks too good to be true, right? I was literally going to do a video called Space Marine 2 Too Good to Be True. I ended up calling it like Space Marine 2 Concerns or whatever. We're hearing incredible things from the previews. We do know it's on PC. Yes, that could be vertical slice. Co-op's not currently working in those previews. That's, you know, I don't know if that's necessarily a concern. Obviously, that's a huge selling point for a lot of people, so hopefully there's not like matchmaking issues or something. Just go look at the specs. It's going to run like crap, says Eugene. And a 20 bomb from Silent Spartan. He brings it home. MASH has his tag team partner, and you guys have secured Community Game Night Unfiltered Jackbox. I'll tell you what, if you hit the stretch goal, Madam has to play Destiny as a brand new player, but that's not going to take away Community Game Night. We will still do the Jackbox Community Game Night, all right? We will manage to do both. You will not have that taken away from you if you guys manage to hit the stretch goal. And I currently owe you guys 15 members. Unbelievable. Huge day from MASH and Silent Spartan. I no longer trust previews. Yeah, testing. I can see what you're saying, Stonespire. I really don't know. You know, Eugene saying it's going to run like crap. Have they put the specs like on Steam? Hang on. Space Marine 2 Steam. Do they have the yeah, September 9th, 2024. So minimum system requirements, 8 gig of RAM, NVIDIA 1060. They're recommending 16 gig of RAM and NVIDIA 3070. Eugene, what here is making you think that this is going to run poorly? This doesn't sound that bad at all. Min requirements, a 1060, recommended 3070? I don't know. That sounds okay to me. Stonespire says if we get 11 people to upgrade to Member Plus, he will gift 10 members. Stonespire throwing down the gauntlet and saying if 11 people upgrade to Member Plus, he will gift 10 members if we hit that milestone. So he's throwing down a gauntlet for you guys. At this point in time, I think Space Marine 2 is going to be a great game. I think it's going to run well on PC from what we're hearing. My concern is optimization on console. That's just my concern right now. I think from what we're hearing, it's going to be quite good. A 3070 for recommended is high. Is a 3070 considered high for recommended right now for a game like Space Marine 2? I would guess I just DLSS that the 1440 will be fine. Too close to release now. If we were to see any issues, we'd have seen them by now. I think this preview is trustworthy. I mean, they canceled their beta to make sure the game was ready to go, so that is a little concerning. You need a 3070 to run it at 1080? Wait, they recommend the 3070 and then running the game at 1080? Oh, but that's on Ultra, homie. 3070 would be should be a 1440-60 card. Not at Ultra. I don't agree with you guys at all. No, I completely disagree with you. It says right here, 60 FPS. So you need a 3070 if you want to get 60 FPS 1080 with Ultra. That's Ultra, bro. You could set it to high or medium and probably get 1440. 60 FPS 1440, and if you lower it from ultra to medium or high, that's totally fine. That's not that big of a deal. There it is. There's the first one. Oink, Wolf. That's an Agent of Chaos, by the way. When you guys upgrade to Member Plus or you renew a Member Plus, you guys push things forward. So now that's Agents of Chaos. Now you're working on the stretch goal of 600. If you want to see Madam play Destiny 2 as a brand new player tonight, you can make that happen. $3070 is a mid-range card from 4 years ago. That's not including DLSS. It's completely reasonable. Yeah, I'm not an expert, but I don't get super concerned about a 3070 for 60 FPS 1080 Ultra. It's like, okay, have you seen this game? Ultra's going to be pretty demanding. Zubair says, not for a modern game with a lot of pretty. Yeah, a modern game with a lot of pretty. You turn on that Ultra, oof. Zubair says, I agree with you, Lono, and I'm an expert. Okay, yeah, I mean, so Zubair knows a whole lot more than me and is deep into the PC gaming world, and he's saying, no, that's a reasonable setup there. A 3070, 60 FPS, 1080 at Ultra. Now compare it to Phantom Liberty. I mean, I don't know what Phantom Liberty recommended is. Cyberpunk 2077 Steam? I'm not actually sure. What time is it? Okay. Do they put the performance in this one? Yeah, Cyberpunk recommends a 2060 Super, but that's their recommended, and I don't know what kind of performance you're going to get out of Cyberpunk on a 2060 Super. Are you going to be able to turn everything on? Recommended high 1080 for 2060. Yeah, but what sort of performance are you getting? 1080 60. Oh, I'm sorry, 1080 60 high, Ultra 2160 60. Okay, so a GeForce 3080 Ultra. 3080 on Ultra at 4K. How do I upgrade my membership on mobile? Banshee, it's really, really difficult to do on an iPhone. You have to go to the web browser, request the desktop version of the site, and go to the members tab and click, it's like view perks or change level or something like that. It's a pain in the rear end to do on mobile. They don't make it easy. They really, really don't. They really, really don't. I got to take some more questions here. We can't spend all day trying to figure out whether or not this has been, optimized well. We are currently at 490 member plus and above, so 10 more, and then Stonespire gives the 10 that he owes. TGIF Rogue Necro renews a VIP and moves us a little bit closer to the stretch goal. That's 502 members on the week. VIP and member plus renewals count. Listen, I'll just say this. I'm not super concerned at what I see given the insanity of Space Marine 2. Cyberpunk has a much larger scale of demand. It can run on a potato and can also make a 4090 cry depending on settings. I just think there's a lot more going on in Space Marine 2. Their Swarm engine is not this. Obviously, it's not the Red engine, but the Swarm engine is set up to have all these guys swarming on screen, all these particle effects and explosions and everything else. I think that game running on Ultra, 60 FPS at 1080 on the 3060, I'm not that alarmed by that. I don't think that worrisome. So, and I agree, like what Paul's saying, it's really hard to compare the engines one to one. It really is. So, Stonespire says, what are the odds that Indiana Jones gets pushed to 2025 after Avowed got the push? Well, I think at this point, Indiana Jones getting pushed would be a very bad look. Because when they announced the Avowed delay, they trotted out a roadmap, and the roadmap had Indiana Jones landing this year. Now, I think it would have been a real show of force and a real confidence booster to give people a release date for Indiana Jones when you announce the Avowed delay. I think that would have been a good idea. But maybe they're saving the Indiana Jones release date for Gamescom. Indiana Jones will not be playable at Gamescom, so that might be a cause for concern, or it could be a good thing. It could be like hey, they're not wasting time on a demo. But it is a little weird that if the game is coming out in just a couple of months, you don't even have like a preview version available for people for Gamescom. Like, that is, I think, a valid question. Eugene says you can't trust the previews coming from people on high-end rigs being representative of performance. Has SkillUp upgraded his rig? Because for the longest time, he didn't have the absolute top-shelf rig. It was good to go to him for PC reviews because his rig was usually close to mine, I think. He might have gotten a new rig, though. I saw where SkillUp said Space Marine 2 co-op wasn't working, but I've seen multiple videos of other creators playing co-op together. Maybe it wasn't working at the time that he captured. Butter says, to add to Stonespire, if not delayed, how bad do you think the launch will be? There's another membership renewal from Yanadid BT, and that's a member plus. That takes us to 503. A great reason to upgrade and always celebrate those renewals, guys. You help us hit those goals. Ralph reviews on a 2080 and a 4090. Did he play Space Marine 2 on his 2080? Did he do that? Did he I don't know why I'm saying that over and over again. Did he actually do it? Oh, he was on his 4090. Okay, well, if he just tested Space Marine 2 on his 4090, then a little bit of a cause for concern there. We don't really know what it's going to run on. Does anybody have a preview right now of Space Marine 2 on a more mid-level rig? Yeah, Butters, as far as how bad Indiana Jones will be, I feel like it's coming to market incredibly fast. So I'm not super confident in the quality of the game. I'm not. I feel like it's coming to market incredibly fast. The dev cycle seems way too short. From when the contract got signed to when we probably know, full production started and they got out of pre-production, I don't think they've had enough time. The contract timing and when they got acquired and all of that, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in it. I don't really have any confidence in any of those games coming out except for Doom the Dark Ages, because id Software has been very consistent, and I have more trust in their ability to make a great Doom. So, Kotz Todd says, what's the number one improvement you want out of the alleged PS5 Pro? Out of the alleged PS5 Pro, what's the number one improvement? Consistent frame rate. That's the single most important thing to me, is consistent frame rate. I don't care if you push graphics or lighting or anything else. I don't care about any of that. I really, really, truly don't. Give me consistent frame rate. Give me 60 FPS. That's what I want. And I think the upscaler is going to help with that, because what it's going to do is instead of trying to push a native resolution, they can lower the resolution and then upscale to the desired resolution, and then that should get you more consistent frame rate performance, because you're putting less strain on the GPU and the CPU. You're basically making the system do less, and that should help. That should help with frame rate. That's what they're targeting with the PSSR upscaling technologies. It's a proprietary piece of tech that should assist with saying, listen, you can lower the resolution of the game. We'll upscale it for you, and then that will make the game run more consistently. So a 1440 ray tracing mode or something like that. Well, they could lower internal, and the upscaler could help, and then you could end up getting a ray tracing mode at 60 FPS. That's all in theory from based on the leaks that we've heard, how the tech's gonna work. So Gillip was on a 4090 and he had it at 4K 60. So he was playing Space Marine 2 4K 60 on a 4090. That's pretty impressive. Butter says Indiana Jones is a Disney IP, so I think maybe expect it to be okay to launch. I expect it to be okay to launch in a bad state. Yeah, if they don't care about the quality of their Star Wars games, you think Disney gives a frick about Indiana Jones? They launched Jedi Survivor in a terrible state, and now they're pushing it onto old gen. And Star Wars Outlaws looks really rough around the edges. So yeah, I don't think Disney gives a flying flip if Indiana Jones is rough when it comes out. Release a Kraken says, will you be checking out Level 0 Extraction when it comes out? It's a PvPvE extraction shooter. I'll admit extraction shooters are not my thing, but this one looks pretty interesting. So it's called Level 0 Extraction. I have not heard of this. I'm not big on... I am not at all big on games like this. I'm not. What's the premise of this game? Official gameplay reveal trailer from 5 months ago. IGN's got it. Hang on. So, gonna be like sci-fi. Yo, Banshee on a member plus, dude. Thank you so much, Banshee. Moving the member goal. Let me advance it here. This is just all like highly rendered scenes and stuff. Wait, you can play as the aliens and the people? Yeah, I'll be honest. This and also all this gameplay looks rendered. Doesn't look raw. The movement and the lighting always gives that away. I don't know. The whole some people are the monsters and some people aren't. I feel like those games are hilarious streamer games and then they just end up not lasting. 504 members. Thank you, Banshee, for renewing. Keep it coming, y'all. I don't know if that's a new one. I don't know if Banshees is a new one. That might just be a renewal of one that we've already had, Stone Spire. Let me double check and see. We're at 492. 492 member plus and above. We only need 8 more people to upgrade. Thank you so much, Stone Spire, for being willing to gift members if we get people to upgrade like that. That's incredible. And thank you to the people who did upgrade. Elemental Hero says, I've heard some rumors that Palworld creators were thinking of putting their games on other platforms. Is there any news on Palworld coming to other platforms other than what the devs said? I mean, I'll be honest with you. What likely is going to happen with Palworld is they're going to spend a good amount of time adding, updating, and just doing the early access thing. Once that is done, then you would see it come to other platforms. When will the PS5 Pro release? I think they'll announce it in September at a showcase or at Tokyo Game Show, and then they'll release it in November. They'll take pre-orders in October, maybe. And 5 gifted members from Sir Gabby takes us to 509. He says, come on, let's hit the stretch goal and make Madam play Destiny. It could be really interesting. Thank you so much, Sir Gabby. I've been gifted for a year, says Banshee, 3 months ago. And 3 months ago, I figured I'd pick up my own. Banshee, I greatly appreciate you doing that. When you guys bump up to Member Plus and you get out of the gifted pool, you're giving up your seat to somebody else, right? You're letting somebody else get in gifted. That's as good as gifting a membership. It really is when you upgrade. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Banshee. That's a lot of loyalty to the channel if you're getting it gifted that many times. And to jump out of the gifted pool and to make room for somebody else, that's what we're all about here. It really is. Somebody asked me a while ago in a member stream about that, and what I said got really, really twisted and misrepresented by the same bad actors and liars that typically do. But I mean that. We really are calling on people. Pick up your own membership, upgrade if you can. If you cannot, you're who we're thinking about. We're trying to make as much room for new people in that member pool. That's the whole reason we want to see people do that, right? We always have a couple people just going crazy with gifteds. They're very generous. I'm always gifting, right? We want to see those folks that can't afford it get in to the community. So, yeah, but I think Power World, Elemental Hero, you'll start seeing it come to other platforms once they're out of early access and they have a 1.0 to ship. That would be my guess. Dalton Burrows with a question. Did you see the Splitgate 2 video going over the new classes? I'm not a Splitgate guy, so I'm not sure how I feel about classes in it, but my friend who loves Splitgate was excited. Listen, I love the devs at Splitgate. I do. They seem dope. Love this community. Thank you, Train, for renewing a VIP. Renewals of Member Plus and VIP count. So that moves the line to 510. Thank you. I love the devs at Splitgate. I think they're creative. They seem super dope and super nice. But here, I'm here to tell you, I just don't see a game like that going the distance. I just think people will play it for a couple of weeks and have fun, and then after that, the player base will just start to dwindle. I don't see arena shooters having any staying power. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I don't think arena shooters have a whole lot of staying power. That's not me saying it will be bad. That's not me saying it won't be fun. Concord will be fun. I had fun when I played. Splitgate is fun. I played it. Splitgate 2 will probably be a blast. I just don't see it lasting. I think that arena shooters have very little staying power because they're so repetitious. It's such a freaking meat grinder. It's always a meat grinder. You know? Splitgate looks to be balancing from the top down. Not sure how that will go over. Lono is an arena shooter doomer. What arena shooters are surviving and flourishing right now? The biggest PvP games are either Battle Royale or something tactical, like Rainbow Six Siege or Valorant or CSGO. Like, just the arena shooter or the hero shooter, I just don't see it. Even Overwatch 2, I saw recently, they're having player-based number drops. I mean, maybe that'll help, but you got Marvel Rivals coming out, you got Concord, it's just an ocean. I just think that I just don't think they have staying power. I'm not trying to be a doom and gloom guy, I'm just giving you my opinion, and that's my opinion. If I end up being wrong, that's only good. What makes CS tactical? Actual ask, I don't know. Positioning, map design, the econ with respect to when to buy weapons and when not to buy weapons. It's not run and gun. It really is not run and gun. It's far more tactical and methodical. So, League of Legends has 117 million active players a month. Yeah, that's not an arena shooter. I'm telling you, you got to trust me on this, man. And DTM65 upgrades to Member Plus. Guys, I am not kidding you. That is such a huge deal when we're seeing this, when we're seeing people bump up to Member Plus. Huge deal for what we do here, man. That's why I'm literally willing to stream on Saturday whenever you guys hit those milestones of Member Plus and above. I do not like working on Saturday. That's 493 Member Plus and above. Thank you so much. Overwatch? Yeah, Overwatch had the power of Blizzard behind it, right? And it was a hero-based arena shooter. It was something new and fresh. Like, it's round-based and objective-focused. You guys understand that every time we talk about live service games, one of the key elements of live service games failing is there's only so many players. Who the frick do you think is going to be playing all these games? Marvel Rivals, Concord, Marathon, the one that we're talking about right now, Splitgate 2. And then there's like at least, and there's X Defiant, the finals. Right? And then you have all the other games that people are already playing. Overwatch 2, Valorant. Valorant's coming to console. Call of Duty does their annual release. That's arena. Who's playing all these games? I'm almost to 10. It was, oh, you were talking to Zubair? Even still, it bears to say, what I'm saying right now needs to be said. I'm one away from 10. I guarantee you there's another one coming. And then you got all these extraction games coming out. It's like, I'm telling you what, dude, there is a reckoning coming for live service games, but there's also a reckoning coming for these smaller scope PvP games. I don't think they're long for this world. There is too many of them. Way too many. And there are already established games that have soaked up so much of the player pool. So much. Yeah, I didn't even mention the Battle Royales. I didn't even mention Fortnite, Warzone, Apex, and PUBG. They also have a ton of the player pool. Jiminy Christmas. It's just too many. I hope you guys are right and that I'm wrong and the games flourish and they make a ton of money and the people have a great time. You know? You're interrupting the chat's discussion. That's very rude. The gold rush ends in a lot of ghost towns. Man, that's so well stated, Paul. That's exactly right. I'll say it another way. Every gold rush ends in a lot of ghost towns. That's exactly right. If you want one of those PvP games, make a cheap indie one that can make, you can have a month of popping off, make their money, and then they're allowed to fall away. There are new players every year. Conrad, I don't think there's enough. I got to move on to the next question. 8-bit Pro. Since the PlayStation 5 console sales are down more than expected, do you see higher sales next year after some first-party game announcements? So they're not down from more than expected. That's not true. That's false. That's falsely phrased. I don't know if you're... I don't think you're trying to falsely phrase it, but you're misrepresenting the number. The number is that it's down year over year after being up last year. So a lot of people are running doom and gloom. Hardware sales are down, and this happens every time, right? Xbox falls into a ditch, and then like PlayStation changes lanes, and they're like, "Yeah, both cars ran off the road," and it's like, no. So PlayStation is down compared to last year. However, PlayStation sold the same number of PlayStation 5s last quarter that they sold in the exact same quarter in 2022. So in 2022, when things were going well and the console was in demand, they sold the exact same number of consoles last quarter as the same exact quarter in 2022. So last year, 2023, they hit like a peak. They're simply coming down from that peak. And it's very easy to be like, well, Xbox is down, PlayStation's down, everybody's down. And it's like, no, Xbox is down like multiple quarters in a row. They only had one quarter where it was up because of sales over the holidays. They've had many, many, many quarters down, 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 down. PlayStation was like up, 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 up. And then last year, this quarter, they did very well. And then this year, they're down a little bit. But you have to see it as this curve where as they're coming down, they're still matching what they did in 2022. So it's not this dire situation. You misunderstood. It's not your fault, 8-bit Pro, because you got a lot of bad actors out here running a false narrative that like, yep, hardware's down. Yeah, it's all floundering. It's all bad. And it's like, no, PlayStation, their hardware sales and Xbox hardware sales, they are not equal right now. Destin Legary is traditionally very pro Xbox, and even he is saying this. He's like, if you're trying to equate what is happening with Xbox hardware to PlayStation hardware, he's like, they're not the same. And he's traditionally very pro Xbox, and even he's getting heat from the pro Xbox crowd because he's like, bro, Xbox hardware has completely and utterly fallen. It's bad. Like, it's not in a good place. Now, it took him and others a little long to get there, but even they got there. They're like, this is bad, bro. A 5-bomb from Vicks Vapor takes us to 516. Thank you so much. Continuing to get us a little bit closer to that stretch goal. Here, I need to schedule the show with Mike. We're going to do a show with Mike in 20 minutes about Borderlands. Is Borderlands in trouble because of the movie flop? That's what we're going to be talking about because there's obviously a lot of people thinking about the next game. And we're going to be talking about it. Give me 1 second. Gonna copy and paste a couple things here. And there we go. Put us in Borderlands 3, I guess. That's probably the most recent game. I mean, well, Tiny Teen is the most recent game, but I would imagine there's more content, at least recently, about Borderlands 3. There's no way to put us in Borderlands 4. As a gaming category, because it's obviously not even been announced yet. Usually a game has to be announced and then they'll put the placeholder on there. Public noon. Are you familiar with the difference? It isn't the hardware between the two. I'm not sure what you mean, Hunter. You mean like total sales? Total sales, I mean, if that's what you're asking about, PlayStation has completely blown Xbox out of the water. I remember when I was telling people, I looked at the charts and I was like, Xbox is headed to being beaten 2-1. And people were like, no, Xbox is going to surpass it. And I was like, sure, Jan. You're curious as to what in the PlayStation is better hardware-wise than the Xbox? All the tech breakdowns in the early days comparing PS5 and Series X, once they actually had their hands on them and they weren't running astroturfing lies about how the Xbox Series S was going to run circles around the PS5, like that wonderful bit of astroturfing, dishonesty. Once they actually had their hands on the hardware, Series X and PS5 are virtually equal. They're virtually equal. So that's been my frustration as a Series X owner. I don't feel like the Series X has been tapped into and utilized in a good way. It's been very disappointing as a piece of hardware. I've gotten amazing, great, next-gen, awesome performance games on my PlayStation 5, and my Series X, I have nothing to play on it that shows off its power. I played Starfield on my PC. I played Hellblade 2 on my PC because those games ran at 30 FPS at launch. Now, I might end up playing Starfield on my Series X once Shattered Space comes out because they pushed out that nice performance update, but it's been a very disappointing piece of hardware. Yeah, clip that. Xbox bad. Reforge hating on Xbox. Make sure and clip that and put that in your content. Otavio Cruz, are you ready to spend another year talking about the FTC if the Warner Games acquisition by Microsoft comes to fruition? It's not going to come to fruition. That was started by somebody who lies basically all of the time. Even homie from Forbes said, don't follow this guy. He just lies. He just makes stuff up. Even a guy from Forbes told people, if you're interested in gaming news, you should not be following this account. The whole Warner Brothers acquisition Microsoft thing, it's totally made up. It's not true. Warner Brothers is looking to license out their IP, so we're all hoping and praying that PlayStation grabs the rights to Batman, and hand it to Insomniac. Anybody running with Warner Brothers wants to sell and Microsoft wants to buy, that's completely made up. The one piece of artwork that they put out there, Fear was spelled wrong. It was spelled F-E-E-R. They didn't even make good fake art. It had a typo in it. It had a dadgum typo in it, bro. You don't think the Series S and the X will even break 40 million? Yeah, Eugene saying he thinks it's going to end up being 3-1 this gen. It probably will be. We are at 493, 7 more people to bump up to Member Plus. Thank you to everybody that's done that, man. Stone Spire threw down that gauntlet. Vaughn Raz with a question says, do you think PlayStation will push the continuation of support for Destiny 2 for a couple more years and then move on to remakes such as the new Bungie IP or Bloodborne or SOCOM or other titles? Yeah, can you imagine Insomniac making a Batman game? Good lord, that'd be so good. Put an asterisk next to that performance update. It's not as nice as it could be. I mean, I haven't really gotten to try it out. They did it when I was out of town. I was in Atlanta when that happened. Yeah, I mean, this is a good question, Von Raz. The way I read what Hiroki Totoki said, I think they want to see a lot more done with Destiny than just continuing Destiny 2. I think they see a bright future for Destiny, and I don't think they agree with Bungie's approach of spinning up other titles, spinning up spin-off things. They were going to do a 3v3 Destiny PvP game, and they were going to do a third-person action adventure, Destiny game. I think they're no, Destiny's a great game, keep going. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Destiny 3 because Sony's stepping in. So, Citizen JV with a question about Black Myth Wukong. Is Black Myth Wukong a day one for you? Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I've been watching that game for a long time, and we're hearing very good things about the optimization, so I'm very excited. Lancelot says, in regards to GTA 6, do you think it's Rockstar's intention to release this 9th-gen consoles with 10th-gen in mind to unlock its full potential, similar to 5? I don't know. I do know that they pushed out the 60 FPS update to Grand Theft Auto 5, and I have continued to say they were doing that to test things out for Grand Theft Auto 6. I think Grand Theft Auto 6 landing in the fall of 2025 and being 30 FPS everywhere, I think that'll be embarrassing. And they'll only get away with it because of their Leviathan-like size and demand. But I'll be like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'll be so disappointed. So... my man, YouTube Lurker in the house. He is here. He says, Horizon Forbidden West was so successful, Sony used PS5 only DLC to move users. Was Spider-Man 2 so successful that they'll use PS5 Pro only DLC to move users? That's why no date yet. I think this is a misread, homie. I don't think they have, nor will they ever do that with the Pro model. Getting people to jump from one gen to the next, that makes perfectly good sense. I could see Spider-Man 2 DLC only being available on the PS5 if it was a cross-gen title. Given that Spider-Man 2 is not a cross-gen title, it's doing its job. It's getting people to jump to PS5. I don't think they ever did anything with the PS4 Pro like that. I think that would be a significant break in precedence. And I also think it would be very, very antithetical to what the Pro is supposed to be. The Pro is supposed to be there for like a luxury, hardcore, big-time fan purchase. It's not meant to they're not trying to move people to it. Does that make sense? So I think it's a little bit of a misread of what the Pro's purpose is. They don't want to be like, oh yeah, end of the gen, we want everybody on the Pro. I tell you what they do want though, end of the gen, they want everybody on the PS5. That's why they'll do things like they did. And Horizon Forbidden West DLC also could have been like a legitimate technological requirement of like, there's things we want to do and we can't do it on the PS4. So the Pro will never have anything that the base PS5 won't. Yeah, that's just not how PlayStation and Sony rolls. They won't do that to their user base. That would be very, very destructive. I think it would be arguably counterproductive. Yeah, the PS4 Pro, the PS5 Pro, it will not sell enough units to warrant doing something like that. Now, that's why the PS5 Pro's focus is going to be the upscaler. It's not going to be about exclusive content. It's going to be about a higher threshold of performance. That's what it's going to be sold on. So, good question, though. I do think it's a good question because some people might be a little skittish about like, oh, are they going to start doing that? I don't think so. Miyako Best Girl says, what do you think of the odds the PS5 Pro announcement comes before the Astro Bot release September the 6th so they can include the PS5 Pro as a spaceship in the game as a funny form of advertisement? I don't think so. The current rumor is that the PlayStation Showcase will happen on the 12th, which is a Thursday. Now, that's the week that Astro Bot comes out. So here's how I see this going down. Let's say that leak is true, that they are doing a PlayStation Showcase and that it is on the 12th. Well, you just had a week of Astro Bot crushing it, okay? You can call me or anybody else saying this a pony. Astro Bot's a Game of the Year contender. It'll be on the podium. It'll get nominated, okay? It's going to take the world by storm. It will. The gaming press is going to love it. They're going to fawn all over it. It's going to get media darling treatment. Do you know what's really, really great to do with a piece of property like that, a game like that, is a week and a half later when you announce your PS5 Pro, or if they wait and they announce the PS5 Pro at Tokyo Game Show. You know what goes really well with that? Every PS5 Pro will come with Astro Bot, right? The PS5 comes with Astro's Playroom. PS5 Pro will come with Astro Bot. So you're basically saying, yeah, that game that's blowing everybody's mind and everybody's singing the praises of, yeah, that's going to be included with every single PS5 Pro. Like, that's how I see them handling that. I don't necessarily think you need to announce the Pro before Astro Bot so then the Pro could be included. You could certainly have some clues or some hints inside of Astro Bot to get the world buzzing about the PS5 Pro. You could. I remember the PS4 Pro hype and people were saying I'd rather wait for a PS5. I mean, I guess they could have done that. I bought the PS4 Pro and was very happy with it. I played on it a bunch before the PS5 was even a whisper of a thing. So, Yeah, the Astrobot controller today was a pre-order. It wasn't a release. Yeah. Corey says, what are your thoughts on the new Black Ops 6 zombie gameplay? I saw snippets on Twitter. I was busy and didn't get a chance to watch it at length. My wife had a thing last night, so I was busy doing dishes and taking care of the kiddos, and then I watched some Olympics with the kiddos, which USA, U.S. women's soccer team goes for gold on Saturday, boys. I told you last week they look strong. They are killing it. Rodman is my girl, dude. Go. They look so good. That game against Germany was hard fought. Anyways, sorry, I had to go on that tangent. I told people a week ago, I said, dude, the U.S. women's soccer team, they look so strong out there, man. You're freaking killing it. Anyways, so I didn't get to watch any of the Black Ops 6 zombie gameplay last night. The snippets that I saw looked cool. I mean, it looked cool. I'm not really a zombie guy. So Elemental Hero says, if there's any news on the Xbox handheld, I want to know if this will have travel features and remote play like the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation Portal have. Wait, the Nintendo Switch, what do you mean remote play? The Nintendo Switch is just a native device, so I'm confused why you included it. PlayStation Portal is a remote play device that should eventually get cloud, and the PlayStation Portal doesn't play anything natively. So I believe the Xbox handheld will likely be a native device. Will it have cloud? I would think so, since they've really been pushing cloud. I mean, I would think it would have cloud. Destiny Bulletin. According to Jason Schreier, the sentiment around Bungie's marathon is, quote, not great. People that I've talked to are a little pessimistic about it even hitting its current planned deadline in 2025. Kill it. I'm telling you. If Sony has a brain, they will kill Marathon and focus all effort on Destiny. I'm telling you, Marathon is a lost cause. You changed leadership. You changed direction. It's now hero-based extraction shooter. Take that game behind the woodshed. It's going to get lost in development hell. If the sentiment at the studio is not great and they don't even think they're going to hit their deadline in 2025, dude, kill it now before it hurts you any worse than it already has. What's the number one problem at Bungie right now, according to Pete Parsons and even according to Sony? What's the problem? They spun up a bunch of different projects, split their talent up, and then hurt Destiny. In the process of hurting Destiny, they made less money, which was going to drive them into the red. Now they got to lay people off and they got to cancel projects or either hand these projects off to other studios. Marathon's in the same bucket. Marathon's in the same bucket. Kill it. It doesn't work. It's not worth bringing to the market. Absolutely not. It's just another game that's draining your resources and your talent. And you seriously think a hero extraction shooter that people wait that long for 2026 now if they don't make their 2025 deadline? Jiminy Christmas. Stone Spire. With the last question in the queue, we're going to shift gears here in a minute and talk about Borderlands with Mike. Do you have any idea where the price would land on a PS5 Pro and if the PS5 would drop down to? I don't think the PS5 drops in price, at least not immediately, and the PS5 Pro will likely be $600. That's what I think. $600 to $650. Glad Lono mentioned the Xbox handheld for a moment because it reminds me of this. According to Jez Corden, the Xbox handheld will be a separate device. It'll be add-on to an Xbox Series X successor and not a hybrid device. Yeah, I mentioned Jez in the show opening, gave him credit for saying that he said it would be a standalone device, but that it would also be an add-on to the Series X successor. So, yeah. I think if Schreier's report is to be believed, and I trust Schreier, I think his reports are usually rock solid, right? I think he has valuable, connections and resources. I'm here to tell you, they should take Marathon behind the woodshed. That's what I would do. I'd take that dadgum game behind the woodshed. It's over. All right. All right, I gotta mute YouTube, or I can't have trailers running when I do this show with Mike. I'm not gonna run any of the movie trailers, because if you run anything negative about movies like this, man, they come for you, bro. I'll run all the game trailers.
What's up?
What's up, Mike? I'm gonna change my scenes here. Oof, my capture card's all wrong.
What's going on, chat?
Oh, I think I owe you guys a couple. I owe you 5 more members, guys. I'll do it in the next. I'll do it in the next stream. I'm just getting these Borderlands trailers ready for us, so they can kind of loop while we're talking.
#1 movie at the box office this weekend. Not Borderlands.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's getting just absolutely cooked. It's got like a 50% with the audience. It's like the audience isn't even saving it.
Well, the audience really hasn't seen it yet. That's just a Thursday night crew. And I don't know if you checked on stream yesterday morning, we checked, and then last night when we did the podcast, we checked like local theaters and what the seating like looked like for the we were live at like 10 at night. I looked at the 10 o'clock movie at one of the bigger theaters here, and it was like a quarter full. I was like, oh boy, that's not a good sign. Thanks, JB. Appreciate it. I just keep doing the content that I'm doing. People like it, people don't like it, whatever. Just keep on trucking.
I'm gonna move you down just a hair. I don't like when the Discord like green line is like showing up. Okay, and then we've got this scene. And I can change this image. Creature made us an image. Got half your head cut off. There we go. Okay. Is the Borderlands movie that bad? It had like a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know. I'll tell you when it comes out on streaming service because I ain't watching it.
It was bad, dude.
It looked bad at the very first time we saw it. Like the first trailer, I was like, I was like, I'm not feeling the vibes here.
I mean, it was questionable when they got Kevin Hart for Roland. I was like, and I was like, well, I'll give him a chance here. I'll give him a shot because, like, you know, Roland changed significantly from BL1 to BL2. Like, he's not the same character in BL2. But I definitely was like, that's questionable. Killers Roland's a crazy cast. I just kind of took it as like, oh, they're just gonna go silly goofy, and it's gonna be like maybe like a super self-aware.
No, they went the other S, not silly.
Yeah. Guys, the Astrobot PlayStation controller is available at Best Buy right now. If you didn't snag one earlier, now would be a good time to try. All right, guys, I'll be back in just a second. I'll spam the link. We'll redirect. Make sure on this video in particular, smash that like button. We're super close to 300 likes, and then do the same when we get to the new video. You guys are awesome, and you hit the huge goal today. The stretch goal is still available, but I do owe you some members. I'll do that when I get back as well. So thanks so much for being here, and chill and chat with Mike. You know, you can ask him about his week and stuff he's doing on his channel while I'm away. All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm okay with Kevin Hart as an actor. Right, you guys are saying that Kevin Hart is just Kevin Hart, and I agree with that. But as an actor, as he's trying to get better, you remember back in the day, like Robin Williams was known for a comedian, and then he took some like really good roles that were very dramatic and whatnot. Now, I'm not saying that Kevin Hart's trying to be a dramatic actor with this film, but actors are allowed to try different things and see, what they can do, what the range is. In some of the reviews that I saw of Borderlands, they actually said Kevin Hart's probably one of the better cast members of this. So I just think it's a bad choice. The whole casting of this movie is, I'll talk about it more during the actual show. It's just bad. No, misdied it. I haven't touched Diablo since last summer when it first came out. When it first came out, I played the 100 hours, went through the story mode and everything like that. Touched season 1 very little. I said I'll see it during like season 4, season 5. Still haven't gone back. Oh yeah, Tom Hanks had some great films, and like bad great films, right? Of comedies and stuff like that. He started off as a TV show guy, Bosom Buddies and stuff. Yeah, there's so many Tom Hanks films. Bachelor Party. Yeah, Dragnet, The Burbs, Joe versus the Volcano. Did you like that segment, B, yesterday? Bot, no bot? You know what this, and I'll bring it up. I'm not going to tell you now, but there's a couple of movies, video game adaptations, that this Borderlands movies reminds me of. And I'll bring it up on the actual stream when we start talking. Oh, The Money Pit's a great movie, Angry. Great movie. One of my favorite moments in like cinematic history is when he pours the water in the bathtub in the Money Pit and it falls through and he just starts laughing uncontrollably. Great scene. And as a kid watching that, it was funny. As an adult that owns a house and watching that, it's even it's 10 times funnier. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You sound like a bird. Yeah, they don't make movies like that anymore, which is sad. Like the Robin Hood Men in Tights, Hot Shots Part 2, Naked Gun type of stuff. What was her name, John? I think it was Shelley. Was it Shelley Long? I think that's what her name was. Oh, Birdcage is a good movie. Yeah. Oh yeah, Airplane 2, Striker. Yeah, they were talking about making a Naked Gun reboot with Liam Neeson, which I thought was interesting. Yeah. Oh, right. Shelley Long was in Popeye. What was it? What's her name from Cheers? What was her name? Shelley Duvall was Popeye. That's correct. Who's the girl from Cheers? What was her name? Lord, you remember the actress from Cheers, the blonde that was in Money Pit? What's her name? Shelley something, isn't it? Yeah, Shelley Long was Cheers, so I was correct. That is correct.
Yeah, Shelley Long. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shelley Duvall. Yes, thank you. Is Popeye. I was correct. Shelley Long is from Cheers. Thank you. I'm not going crazy yet.
All right.
Money Pit's a movie I can watch anytime. Like if it's on, if I'm like doing something around the house and all of a sudden I see Money Pit on, I'll just like sit down for a second, start watching it. Then next thing I know, I watch the whole movie again.
Money Pit, the Money Pit.
You've never seen Money Pit? Tom Hanks, Shelley Long?
No, I don't know. I don't even recognize the cover.
Bro, you have to watch that movie. It's such especially as an adult now. When I was a kid, I watched it and I thought it was hilarious. But as an adult and you own a house, you have to watch this film.
Yeah. Somebody posted the bathtub scene in the Discord.
They don't make movies like that anymore. Well, I don't know if I'm still sane. I'm still sane at this moment.
Okay.
Hey, did you ever see real quick? Did you ever see all Tom Hanks's old stuff, like the old comedies he was in, like versus Volcano, The Burbs, The Bachelor, any of these things?
Yeah, I've seen those. Burbs, Bachelor,
Okay.
Big. Yeah. Guys, we're about to shift gears. Take a real quick second. Double check the like count. We should have easily been able to get 300 likes today. I'm not sure what happened. YouTube was acting a little goofy. A couple times my chat froze. So make sure it saved your like. And then I'm going to spam a link in chat, and we'll redirect you guys to the new stream. What is wrong with that link? Is that link not right?
Huh. The one you just posted?
Yeah, it's messed up. It's messed up in the Discord. It's like not embedding right. It says, enjoy the music and the movies that you like. It's like, what?
No, I clicked it from the chat and it worked fine.
All right, here we go, chat. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm going to sit down with my good friend 30 and Still Gaming, and we're talking about Borderlands. And this would be one of the few times we talk about a movie on a gaming channel, because a video game movie has absolutely and fundamentally flopped. It is doing terribly. It had a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think now, I don't even know where it is, maybe 4%. And
I think it's bad.
Yeah, and Mike, given he has a history in the film industry, I thought, let's talk about this, and will this have an impact on Borderlands? We know that Randy Pitchford and Gearbox want to make Borderlands 4. Borderlands 3 did not do very well. People didn't seem to like it. It seemed built for streamers and hardcore players, and once a lot of those streamers weren't getting paid, they weren't playing the game anymore. So I'm going to end the previous stream, which was gaming news this week. It was a great discussion about all the different things that have happened this week, and then I'll make sure and change that thumbnail. So, Mike, man, thanks for being here. I thought this was one to be fun to talk about, because we are